mentioned something about I know a lot of states I think mentioned 14 states require you to have a real estate license or at least
Mm.
those minimum expectations. And you just brought up contracts. How do you have do, does that kind of support does having a background in real estate support business brokerage, or is it kind of like two separate two separate things?
They're very separate because the way you sell a business is completely different than from the way you sell real estate.
Mm.
So I would say if if you've owned a business, if you've managed a business, if you have, you know, maybe, or if you have education in MBA or some type of business administration, um, you're going to be that's going to be more valuable to you in terms of business sales than a real estate license would, because the education you have to have for real estate to get a real estate license is primarily focused on residential real estate. And so, and the way you sell a house has nothing to do with the way you sell a business. But selling businesses, you need to be able to read financial statements. Can you look at a P&L and understand what it says? Can you look at a balance sheet and understand what it says? Can you look at tax returns and understand them? If not, those are skills that you need to learn, and they're very learnable. I mean, it's not super complicated to learn. But the other thing about business sales, business is dynamic. If you have a piece of property and it has a value, that value is not going to change very much unless the value of every other piece of property on that block changes, or unless there's some catastrophe, the house burns to the ground or whatever. But in business, every business is valued on its own merits. And so a business can be destroyed overnight. Business value, I should say, can be destroyed overnight because a key employee that was basically running the business or helping to run the business leaves. And so nobody knows what that key manager was doing or that key employee was doing because the business didn't have any operating procedures documented. And so without operating procedures documented, now you have employees scrambling around trying to figure out what was going on, and a business owner, you know, trying to figure out, well, what did that person do? What am I missing? Now I need to hire somebody. And so there can be a lot of business value that can dissipate very quickly, um, which wouldn't affect any of the businesses in the neighborhood, in the block, right? Going down to commercial strip malls. Um, so that's something that you have to be aware of. And the more you understand and know about business, the more you can bring to the table when you're working with a business owner.